more than often, we all kind of wrote something similar to that effect. You know what I mean? Whereas I might write a song and we'll use something like a song that I was starting, and we'll turn the song I was starting to a chorus, which would probably get, for an example, which probably is a good example, would be Pure Thought. Pure Thought was a verse of mine. You know, we honestly deserve a standing ovation. Don't you think we honestly deserve it? Not about the rules giving living. Don't you think? You know, and then we kind of just made that into a song.
And this song,
You
yeah,
know, and that's sort of like our formula.
You are now listening to the sounds of
the man that is here with us is a great man. Somebody joining us right now.
Coming in from Hawaii.
Wow.
Right on the beach today.
I love
good to
it.
see it. I love
We
it.
are very lucky to have with us a legend in the hip-hop world in Southern California. He was part of the famed group Freestyle Fellowship, and here to join us tonight on this Friday, it is the one and only Self Jupiter.
Hell yeah.
Give it up, folks.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hip hop, 50 years of hip hop. We just had a big anniversary for hip hop. We want to know a little bit more about the story of Self Jupiter. How did you get involved with hip hop? How did you find hip hop and then start rapping on the microphone?
Let's see. When did I start? I started it around, I say, 80. Well, I was always writing little things here and there, but of course, I was around the homies, Mike and I, and AC Alone and Teaspoon, and AC stayed the next building over from me in the jungles, Baldwin Hills. Went to the same elementary school from 4th to 5th grade. We didn't go to the same high school.
Okay.
Junior high school, we didn't go to the same junior high school either. Mike, I was in 6th grade with Mike, but he was in like a special kids, smart kids class or something like that. Advanced class,
Yeah, that's
but yeah, we
believable.
went to the same elementary school.
Gifted.
Dorsey too. Went to my high school. But yeah, I started just being around him, and always had my rap book. That was the thing. It ain't like today. We had rap books.
Yeah.
Or your memoirs, or you had stuff that you was jotting down. I know I had mine. Everybody was I know AC, he was super private on his book. I was, I let it fly, man. Check this out, man. Look what I got. You know what I'm saying? Look what I got over here, man. Y'all weak, really. Y'all really weak. I'm gonna serve y'all one day. Watch.
How many
But nah,
how many pages off that rhyme book do you think made it onto songs? Like, was it like 1 out of 5? What was that ratio like?
On the songs, I mean, it was bits and parts. I'll tell you this. A lot of the things I was writing ended up being songs for the fellowship, as if, the homies are good at making their own rhymes, but they're not good at including everybody else. I think that was my power, to include everybody else, because I'm almost like, if I'm a director, I'm going to include everybody into the, into the mix. Sometimes the homies, well, more than often, we all kind of wrote something similar to that effect. You know what I mean? Whereas I might write a song and we'll use something like a song that I was starting, and we'll turn the song I was starting to a chorus, which would probably get, for an example, which probably is a good example, would be Pure Thought. Pure Thought was a verse of mine. We honestly deserve a standing ovation. Don't you think we honestly deserve it? Not about the rules giving living. Don't you think? And then we kind of just made that into a song.
And this song,
And that's sort of like our formula for a lot of times. But then again, it was mix and match it. The homie have something, I might can get on it or whatever. But it all started from To Whom It May Concern. And To Whom It May Concern was the first time that I was ever given the opportunity to, to get on some vinyl.
And that's coming up.
Classic album.
Yeah.
Coming up, who was some of your main influences that made you feel like, man, I could do this. This isn't something out of my reach. I think I got this right now. I could do it right now. Let me just show you what I got. Who showed you this, or who put you onto
Who
that?
inspired you?
Who inspired me to put? I say had to have been like Teaspoon Iodine and the homie RBX, Reality Born Unknown.
Yeah.
Uh,
RBX is dope.
and yeah, that's my dog. And of course the homies AC and Micah, but particularly Teaspoon and RBX. They had that deep. They had that kind of like, it was almost like the words that they chose had wheels, you know what I mean, and legs of their own. And I used to kind of like, just like, oh man, this dude is dope, you know what I mean. But of course, we stuck by the same rules of originality, you know what I mean. I never stepped on nobody's feet, you know, what they was treading around with. I kind of stayed, you know, we all kind of did that, you know what I mean. I think that was one of the things that we kept as you know, key to the fellowship, originality and going left.
Yeah.
And that kept everybody on their toes, because the idea was kind of, you know, to do something, you know, you wanted to make the homies have goosebumps, something like, you know, oh shoot, like, you know, to where like if they never heard nothing like that, then, you know, you kind of feel good, you know what I mean? So I had good teachers around.
Yeah.
And if it's whack, it's going, you know, you're going to get
You're gonna hear it.
You're gonna get the whack, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or put it this way, or they won't, you know, you won't see no expression. So that means, yeah, that wasn't too hot. And I'm going for the straight. I want some jumping up and down.
Which
you know?
which would light a fire in you.
Celebratory.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're getting the people that you were around, like Micah 9 and
Right.
AC and those guys
Yeah.
excited, then definitely you're doing something right.
And of course, you know, I go and say, Coogee Rap, Big Daddy Kane,
Yeah.
LL Cool J, Rakim, you know, Ice Cream Tea, you know, like, you know, Chuck D,
Yeah.
you know, everybody kind of like had the we all listen to the same hip hop, and you know, we all wanted to be at some point be able to spit something for them, like, and a lot of times we got that chance.
And so, yeah, I mean, when you talk about originality, and there's no one other than Freestyle Fellowship that came with more originality. When you talk about the style, the chop, the way, the art of the way that you guys were able to chop up your verses and do what you do. Where did that style come from? How did you guys evolve that? Was that something that was kind of in the group, or was it one person brought it and you guys just fed off of it?
It's actually an old style. That's kind of like an old style. Like, I mean, it was kind of like one of those things where you had in your tutelage, like on your carrying case, you always wanted to have a double up, triple up, whatever style that you thought you was gonna do. We had something for that. Like, but it was a style that was, you know, if you were MC, somebody, you know, if they was attempting to do something on some choppity chop, we had something for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't really like, and also, you know, it had something to do with the beat or how you was writing to the beat. You know, you just don't kind of just. It was always. Well, I used to always write to beats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't write and then get the beat.
You know, so whatever the beat was telling you, kind of, or I kind of understood a little bit of the producers you know, how if they was rappers, they'll be like, that's why we appeal to a lot of producers, because if they was rapping, they'd be like, that's exactly what I'll be doing to that beat right there. You know what I mean? So we was kind of being, they was talking to us through the music, and we was talking right back.
And going back to whom it may concern, is that basically what the creative process was like with you guys and Jay Soombi? He would be putting on a beat, or he'd make a beat, and then you guys would write to that? Or
No, it wasn't really. Jay Soombi just had the studio. He had beats, obviously, of his own.
Okay.
But you had Ora, the mighty Ora. He and we all kind of like, I mean, we never had none of the you know. I think the homie was having a what did he have? He had a what did he have? I used to love that keyboard. It was a sampling keyboard. Can't think of off the top of my head, but he um he was a master of it. Mathematics.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
he used to make beats and stuff, and he'd have everybody like he always have me, Juke, I made this for you. This is especially for you, you know. And he had almost, and I just, oh my God, and like he had everybody, but then that was only one part of it. The other part would be where me and AC might just be going record shopping and come across a album, and we'll just be like, "Ooh, let's get the homie to put something to this." You know what I mean? So it was various ways how we was approaching the sessions, but at all times we all had our own. The producers kind of always had us in mind on any of the music, and then but when we got together, we dissected and did our thing with them. And then we kind of come back and then it gets sequenced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But usually it was just the raw beat of something, and then you know it you know it became a monster. It was a monster of itself, where it ended up being something else at the end of the day. A lot of songs we really didn't finish, or they didn't put on one of the albums.
Yeah.
Especially like something like To Whom It May Concern.
Yeah. Jupiter's
Or they interfere.
Jupiter's Journey, quite the introduction to you on that album. Super dope track, man, and that whole album in general. I mean, recently nominated for a Grammy.
Weather Report.
Yeah, bro. How was the whole Grammy experience? Going to the Grammys, Daddy Kev remastered the album. It was nominated for a Grammy, and you guys got to go and be a part of that whole thing, man. What was that whole experience
It's
like?
a fucking Grammy, dude.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
That's like
dude.
that's big.
amazing.
That's amazing.
As big as it gets,
time.
right?
Yeah, that's
And look, hey, it blindsided me, man. I was like, "What the heck?" Shouts out to Key Systems to help put that out. Actually, did the vinyl for that. Yeah, I got the shout out to Jay Soombi. He gave me he gave me the original 4-track and the tapes, and that was
wow.
Out of the garage, like, here, take it.
Should be in a
I was like,
museum.
yeah,
That should be in a museum.
Crazy, yeah.
Museum quality for sure.
Yeah, and those tapes are hella old and shit, and I had one guy in mind. I was like, Daddy Kev, let's see what we could do, man. Yeah, and they made it up. They made the magic, man, and got us nominated.
Well
Like
deserved.
I say, which blindsided us all. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it?
It was well deserved. I mean, I hate to say that it took forever, but it was well deserved for it finally to come. The recognition for Freestyle Fellowship as a group. Was that always something that was in your mind? Was it always like group first and then the solo shit, or did you always want to pursue a solo career? It just seems like you guys are such close friends that it always felt like the group was always the first focus.
Yeah, I'd say we always I can say personally, I always had in my mind what I wanted to come out with, which was, like I say, was different from the homies, and I think that we feed off each other so much to where you always trying to outdo the homie on some levels too, but then your personality is totally different from the homies, and the things you think about is different too, so you already know that you're valuable, but you're a solo guy because nobody is like you know what I mean, and that's but then you want to be able to with me, I'm like, I don't really, as far as ideas, I kind of just let the ideas run whoever I'm talking to. I'm not shy about concepts and stuff like that. So if I give one of the homies something, or I might, and we freestyle too, and then one of the freestyles might end up being a song. So it was just remembering what you said and then writing it down later You know what I mean? It might just be one key. You know, one of the many keys to unlock a lot of little doors. You know, in the human condition, and just knowing how we all think and how and who are we. You know, the question is who you really are. You know what I mean? That has to be value in that, and that was the key. One of the keys to open up the whole door of our being.
Yeah.
Do you freestyle often still, or you find yourself more likely just writing to a beat, or when you're by yourself, do you find?
Oh man, I was just I mean, I freestyle because it's fun. I might be in a car and a beat to come on, and I just start rapping.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And a lot of the little homies and stuff like that, and it just. But then you try to get better because you have to freestyle, just to keep your
sharp. Gotta stay sharp.
Timing. Yeah. And it's a personal thing. It's just, but it's like a feel good thing. It's like drummers. I got an uncle. You know what I mean? Stay out in Leimert Park, and he still got his drum set. You know what I'm saying? He got the extra drums, like 52 piece drum sets. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? It's like you don't really need that many, but he got them, and he make it. He do his thing.
That's cool.
So. We all are musicians.
So coming up, was Self Jupiter the first name you thought of for yourself, or did you call yourself other things? And if so, what were a couple other things you thought you were going to go by besides Self Jupiter?
The homie used to call, man, look, I got so many names, and it's funny because depending on who calls you, that could be like, oh shoot, who the hell? You already kind of know who calls you that in your past, So I grew up in the jungles of Los Angeles. So we got, man, if you know Jabba the Hutt, they just call me Jabba. Big Classic. Yes. I remember Big Classic. Big Classic. Big Classic coming down the street. Big Classic. But you will know who that is. They call you Big Classic. It's only like 4 or 5 dudes that'll call you that grew up where I'm from. And then Juke came later. More people know me by Juke, which is, you know what I mean? My real name is Ornette. I was named after Ornette Coleman, obviously, but no one now really called me Ornette. Well, people call me Ornette, but like I say, you don't know who that person is. They call you your real name, your government name.
Yeah.
But Jupiter, pretty much, or Juke.
Shit, Ornette sound like an R&B singer.
You
be Ornette, you be serenading the ladies out there. It's your boy Ornette tonight.
That don't sound no R&B singers. It ain't too many R&B singers named Ornette.
You would have been the one.
Nah, you got to have a last name because they always say my first name seems like it's backwards. You got last name first.
Ornette Jones. Ornette Jones sounds perfect.
Trying to turn me into an R&B singer. And I'm gonna turn you. You're gonna have to play something.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, all 3 of y'all, I gotta get on some instruments or something. Or background singers. How about that? I'm gonna put y'all in the matrix.
We'll learn something for you.
Let's get it going on.
You talk a little bit about where you grew up in, growing up in LA and stuff like that. How instrumental was the good life because you guys, that was kind of around your teenage, early 20 years. How instrumental was that to you and your friends and the people that are around you?
Oh man, the good life was definitely life changing. All the things that we grew up, that was at the point where you stopped playing with whatever you was doing on the side, whereas it was me, serving dope or something, in the hood or something, which we all had to do certain, things to come up. And shout out to CVE, got to come up. Perfect plug for the homies. So good life. We were still trying to make things happen, and that was the beginning of independence. I said, like it was, you wasn't no little boys no more. 21, 22, you was like, this your career, like, you know what I mean? Let's mobilize, let's get this cracking, and it wasn't until when we met with Sumbi, but like I say, the good life was it made us think in those terms of getting things done. It was fun, along the way. Don't get me wrong, but linearly, when you look at things in a linear way, it really wasn't that long of the good
so
life. When I
small,
was on a year,
Yeah.
from the time that we got there and the time that we got signed, it really wasn't that long of a span. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So things happen in a blinking of an eye. You know what I mean? You don't think of those. You don't think of things like that. Looking back, you're like, wow, we end up being on top of the whip, and it was just because teamwork and focus, staying focused.
Yeah.
And we didn't have internet and none of that stuff, but we knew what we wanted, and we got what we wanted. We took what we wanted.
Yeah.
And that was, it wasn't playtime no more. So, I think Good Life was 90, 91, I'm thinking. And I think we get signed the next year. It was pretty dope. Put money in our pockets and stuff. We showing up at the Good Life. You know what I'm saying? I think I bought a luxury sport or something.
Yeah.
I think I bought a Malibu, T-top Malibu or something. Everybody had cars. We was all fly.
You have to.
Smelling good. I think Micah had a 66 Chevy Impala with the
Classics.
white convertible top, red with the white convertible top. I think AC had like a Wildcat, a 68 Wildcat.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Gold, candy gold. Peace had I don't know what he spent his money. Peace was crazy.
Yeah.
Peace had a old Benz. That's my dog. Shout out to Peacey Weesey.
Yeah.
Peace bought an old ass Mercedes. Vacuum locks. Hella slow when he opened up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we ended up showing out. But in between that time though, meeting a lot of good people. Artists. Musicians. Shout out to JMD. Shout out to everybody in the Good Life. I always think about back, obviously back in the day, and cats and people that was around, and Project Blowed, and just all the characters out of, we was all around in those days. But yeah. Good times, man. Good times.
Yeah, it was amazing talent that came out of there, and they did that documentary, This Is the Life, on it, and they documented it pretty well. But
Ava DuVernay,
Yeah, she did Selma, and
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember what else she did, but she did it. Like, as
It
a
was crazy.
top-notch,
It's crazy how much
director.
talent was really there. I mean, there's so much. It seemed like it's
hey
just
man,
like
she
a
got her own
circle
ice
of
cream
talent.
right now.
Yeah,
Jerry.
I
Shout
saw
out
that.
to Ava DuVernay.
I saw that. Shout out to the Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Go get some.
Was there anything else?
Everybody out of the Good Life ended up doing something really, really good, and shout out to Booty Brown, got nominated for a Grammy on the what's that, what's he get nominated for? Somebody's album right now.
oh wow.
I was just looking at the Instagram.
Was there anything else that even came close to the Good Life after it was done? Like, were you like, hey, man,
Project Blowed, I guess, was the closest, right?
Oh, what you say?
was there anything else that even came close to the Good Life for you guys to kind of meet up and kind of express yourself besides that point? You know what I mean?
I mean, no, not really. Not really. I mean, we had Far Side Manor. I mean, as far as what, like, the Good Life ended up turning into something wholly different. And the time that I remember, going there, it was becoming, but it took a little while, for it to, take have some traction. But when we was going there, it wasn't that many people. We was just kind of rapping, for each other. I remember CBE, Red, Fish, a lot of the homies from CBE come and play beats and stuff, and we just be rapping, entertaining each other. And then and then they used to give us little flyers, to give out. You might be at the bus stop, some rappers or something like that. Mike will be serving somebody, or come through to the good life. This is where we be at, and this is after a while, that was the meeting place to battle. You know what I'm saying? And in the parking lot of of the good life.
That was
it's
like
an iron.
every Friday thing or what? Every other Friday thing? Or
It was Thursdays.
every Thursday thing. That's cool.
It's an iron sharpens iron type of situation where just a bunch of talent comes and just everyone's getting better.
Throw it down Thursdays, huh? I like that.
Yeah,
Booty Brown was on that Gorillaz track, right? Was that the track?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
Dirty Harry.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry. That's crazy.
Hey man, you talked about the teamwork and the cohesion of Freestyle Fellowship, and how important that was. Like, how was the transition going from that to your solo career as Self Jupiter by yourself?
Repeat that. I'm sorry.
How was the transition going from the group teamwork type of music making to a solo career just by yourself?
I had to kind of. It's no formula really. It's still swinging. It's still swinging to the point where I try to just in my mind, like, no one's flyer than me, and I have to prove that, put that in motion, you know what I mean, to where I'm proving my point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you hating, you might be a hostile witness on the stand. But in all seriousness, you still evolving as an artist. There's no cap onto it. There's no cap to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I mean, we all hope that your album is dope, the next one. And again, here's the thing. I know a lot of cats that they, for some reason, they probably are maybe insecure about their art. Maybe they don't want, they too scared to put some stuff out, and they might have been rapping for years and haven't put out an album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot to come with it. It's kind of like a book. You know what I'm saying? You kind of put vulnerable a lot of ways too.
Yeah.
I mean, especially us, because we creative, and we ain't finna just making something just that's not really us.
Yeah.
We are stuff that's us. So, in those terms, it's like kind of it's the whole package too. It's like, yeah, you put this out. You might be some, and I know a lot of people are discouraged with the stuff. People aren't buying this. And you really gotta dig deep. I guess if you wanna, you're used to doing tours. You gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
you gotta be real about it.
A lot of work.
Grinding.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you have to kind of like, are you really going to tour with this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or how are you going to maximize this release? You know what I mean? At this point,
Fully
I think
commit.
that's where it's at now. Optimizing, you know what I mean, and being realistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't be scared to put out. You know what I'm saying? Just put out what you want. Put out the stuff that you feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my thing. I don't care if they don't buy it. The next one, you know what I'm saying? I know for one, me personally, I always get a gang of different fans, and mostly in the stuff that I always done, especially with the beat scene with Kenny Segal, the Cleaners.
Yeah.
A lot of my fans was like hella young. They didn't even know Freestyle Fellowship.
Yeah.
Like, I seen you was from a group, Freestyle, They knew the Cleaners, but it was in that little beat scene with Kenny and Beat Team Supreme, and shout out to Daddy Kev, you know what I'm saying? The Low End Theory Club, and it was that particular time, like 2011, 2012. But people were identifying with the music and the people I was hanging around, and also with the young homies, you know what I mean, doing stuff with being on features. And I always think, if anything, that keeps people in younger people or new people in your mix too.
Keeps you fresh.
When you do features. You know what I mean?
That's what Mike and Nine had to say as well when we talked to him.
Yeah, do as many features
Don't
with
turn it
younger
down.
dudes
Yeah,
because
don't
you're
turn
gonna
one
get
down.
new audience. Like you said, the more that you evolve, you're gonna pick up fans along the way. That's just the natural course of evolution there.
Hey,
Yeah. And like I say, some people aren't on you, and I know for a fact. I mean, even you guys, I'm sure you guys sometimes be listening to music, and you might be hitting the homie like, "You heard of this person?" No, man. People get put on music every day, every day.
Yeah.
Somebody be like, "Well, I ain't heard this person right here." You know, he talks what he's saying what I think. You know,
Yeah.
and we give you bars on the very thing. Or they might have some, man, you got me out of these real times, you know, and you know, people remember you, especially if you doing shows. They come to the show.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think how music can really change someone's like their whole vibe. Like you could really get someone out of a slump, and they could hear you, they could see you, and they could just be like, "You changed my whole life."
Right.
And that's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Music is
I
powerful.
mean, because you know, we humans. Some people be down and out, man. You know.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And they might need that. They might, you know, it's kind of medicine to a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's why I say, how are you not going to put out the work that you was thinking on? You don't know what that, you know what I'm saying?
Who's that's gonna
Who that-
touch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lately, though, what's been your writing process lately? Like, what do you do to get yourself in the mood to just be like, I'm gonna get on this track right now. I'm gonna write this out. Like, what do you normally do to set yourself up for that situation?
I think of it, like I was saying, I'm always thinking of what the producer is signaling through those waves, through that beat. I'd be like, oh man, or I'm so good at creating a scene, create my own atmosphere. You know what I mean? I kind of just like, and then how I write, I write doors. I write like I might have a verse. It's not even a verse. It's just an open door. So when I go back to it, it's like I know where to go. You know, and I have thousands of those. You know, when you think of something, just write, just think, or you can have it in your mind. You just know you can keep adding to that and keep adding to it. You know, then you might have a whole 16, you know, whatever. Or it might, I don't, you know, really care about the math of it, the 16. I might just have a 32 bar, and that might just be it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's amazing. That whole process sounds like freestyling when you're talking about doors and there's 1,000 doors to be open. That's like freestyling. You're seeing all these doors and you're going through them and then you're hitting these rhymes and you know that rhyme's going to lead to this sequence is going to lead you to at least 4 to 8 more bars and it's just the way that it all evolves into that.
Yeah, but the thing with writing, that's a whole world in its own. And I'm gonna tell you, not everybody has the writing. I mean, I know only a handful of people that can freestyle good at you know, and write. You know what I mean? Both.
Yeah.
Either you might be a good freestyler and suck at writing.
I feel it. I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, some people probably, you know, but it takes I like to sit down and, you know, and write, you know what I mean? I don't want to just on some novelty thing, just freestyling and just, you know, I want to get you there inside that booth.
So for doors, let's elaborate a little bit more. You mean straight up like I'm gonna build a vibe and I'm gonna cut it down and I'm gonna maybe move on to the next one. So when I get back to this beat, I'll have something to build off of just right off the bat because I know where I was going with it. That kind of shit.
Yeah.
I like that.
You know, a lot of, if you just using your mind, you gonna forget it. And I learned a long time ago. I done lost so much stuff trying to keep it in my head.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I got that joint down. You know what I mean?
Get it out.
'Cause that's so bomb. I want to think about it later, and you know, I might just be in the day, just outside, and be like, oh, woo.
Yeah.
And I'll just think of something, and I'll be like, oh, where's my phone?
Get that shit out. Get that out.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about some new music, but before that, I mean, you mentioned Kenny Segal, and I just want to know a little bit more about how that working relationship came about. And I mean, you guys put out 2 pretty dope albums together, and I read that you know, you really ignited a fire in Kenny Segal. He went on to produce a lot of dope albums after, you know, you guys' work. So how did that come about? The whole project, Cleaners.
Oh man, that dude is something else. He knows what to get you going.
Yeah.
That's best way I can tell you. Any rapper, that boy will he'll make an album with you, and he a real producer. You know what I mean? He ain't want to just gonna give you some beats. He want to be all involved. You know, and that's the difference between I guess with a lot of beat makers. Like beat makers, but he's a real producer because he don't really. And then I've been blessed to have I want to you say we rap nerds. We have producer nerds. They into those mics and modules and sound modulations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they into making and what better core of guys to know you and know what type of mic you need. You know what I mean? Know him and just know
Compressor and
how your voice is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Those are the people that study and know your voice and know you. So I'm gonna be around those cats forever. But yeah. So yeah, that was the attraction. If you gotta, we just nerds and we just trying to just put out some dope shit. And I figure like Kenny, he's a great listener. You know what I mean? And edits and does and bring things in. And violin, he make everything such a epic.
Yeah.
He make everything on an epic level. You know what I mean?
He's good at his craft. Good at
you
his
know?
craft. Yeah.
And yeah, and just really a cool dude, and you definitely, it's and that's the kind of people you kind of want to go in the studio with. You don't want to waste time, and you just want to and can build you up. Also, but that's life. You got to have those people in your life.
People you could bounce off. You're basically going in the studio to play. You want to have fun with this person
and produce a product.
Yeah,
to make. That's the idea, is to make product.
Fuck yeah.
Progress for sure.
You talked a little bit about your rhyme book and it being an open subject, and also about writing a book. Have you thought about writing a book or putting those rhymes out or publishing that type of thing? Or?
I think everybody's doing the rhyme thing, but I do have a book, and it's not like it's a real one, like a novel, like
a story.
It's not just a rhyme book and all that stuff. No, I like stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I haven't finished it yet, but it's definitely coming.
Something more than just something to put on a merch table.
Yeah, I mean, that's a cool idea. I remember my boy Satch. Shout out to my boy Satch. He actually got me. That was like 2010. I swear to God, 2010. He was like, "Dude, you should make a rhyme book and let that be the invitation to the show." You know what I mean?
That's
like,
not a bad idea.
And
Your
I was
ticket.
like, "Ooh, that's so cool." Rhyme book is the invitation, not really on some selling the stuff or whatever, selling the book. But you know what I mean? They bought it. You gave it to them when they got there. That was the ticket to get in.
Which is sick.
Yeah. It's like exclusive.
Right, so,
exclusive.
Yeah.
First 100 people.
And 10 years later, somebody wanted, we're going to get you the rhymes and put it in the book. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then when the homie did, I was like, oh, that's dope. Yeah, of course. Super dope.
Yeah.
I could have did it, but yeah. It's dope. But I don't want to see like everybody has a rhyme book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
definitely more
doing
creative
stuff like
outlets for it, though. Like you said, writing more.
Get into
You got a title? You got a title for your book that you might be dropping there pretty soon that we should be looking forward to hearing or seeing or even reading?
Nah, I don't have a title. Title Smiles.
That's the name of it right there. Title Schmidles.
I mean, because anything, I like to wait at the end of the day, I don't want to, it could be anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just depends on how it hits. It might hit different.
You dropped Sexy Beast in 2019, a handful of years ago. Dude, Layers, such a dope track. What was the mindset like when you were making that track?
I think it was kind of like breakup.
Yeah.
That more like a breakup kind of, and resolve kind of, what you was feeling as far as, you was drunk a lot of times and this and that, a lot of things, you could have did differently, I mean, I'm sure we go through all that, and looking back, being introspective, and being okay with it, and kind of it was medicine, and and letting it like be the band-aid a little bit of the wound, how you was feeling or whatever. And then when you made the song, it's like, oh, I'm free.
Yeah,
That's how the songs are to me.
it's a release.
Well, yeah. And then I think I made something on, I think in my own poetic way, on the Cleaners, the Breakup Breakfast. So that was around kind of the same time. So.
What's your favorite, like when you're in your own bag, what is your favorite type of song to be making? Is it the breakup song? Is it the like a battle type of vibe? Is it more of kind of psychedelic out there? What's your favorite type of bag to be in when you're writing?
I kind of like to be in a. I don't really have none. I don't really, because I can think of all the songs I did make, and the one that gets me kind of going is, and to be honest with you, a show song that makes everybody kind of like get, like feel that energy what you was writing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the electricity that comes with performing and getting people involved. I mean, the slow things and more methodical. I would say a little jazz, some jazziness, if I had to choose something memorable and something that you're gonna always take with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That hits home a little bit. Like, oh shoot, like, for some reason I think that one, but all kind of a mixture of sorts.
Yeah.
So it's probably not no one definitive way, but just something that that you can feel.
Are you conscious while you're writing about how the song's going to sound when you're performing it on stage? Is it something that while you're writing it, you're like, oh yeah, this is going to play really good on a stage, or this isn't, or do you not even really care? You're just writing to make music?
Oh, no. Because if obviously if the songs that you're making and people they on it, they gonna be
No
on
matter
it.
what. Yeah.
And if they really on it, you don't have to really sing say none of the rhymes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you want people to know what you said, and you want to make it kind of easy for people too. You know what I mean? I battle with that a lot, with not really trying to go super over the head. You know what I mean? Kind of down the middle. I think I consider us as grand communicators. To where I can explain something and you would know what I'm talking about. And I try to use, and a lot of authors that I remember reading books was like that. I mean, I used to read some novels, and it'll take so long for somebody to describe something where another author might say 3 or 4 words, and you automatically get exactly what he's talking about because he describes something that he knows that you're familiar with. You know what I mean?
Relatability.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You dropped Big Dipper recently. It was last month, actually, just a couple weeks ago. Do you have a new album in the works here? Or
Yep, Sexy Beast too.
Oh, right.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be finished with that soon. I'm gonna throw out another single by the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And then the album, and then and then hope you like it.
Can't wait, man. As we wind down here, Jupiter, I mean, how much longer will you be making music for? Is this something that you want to do forever? Or do you find, or do you have like a certain number? Do you have a certain?
Are you retiring? Are you retiring?
Do you have a
soon
certain
or no?
age in mind that you
I think hey, look,
Do you ever think about that?
I'm 53 right now, so you know what I mean. I feel pretty good.
Young
I feel
man.
like,
It's amazing.
I think the older, we ain't really never seen no 53 like me before.
Yeah.
I'm one, you know what I mean? I'm one of the only 53s like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
How?
And I feel like,
I was just wondering, how has the game changed from making music back in the early '90s to now 2023? I mean, it's got to have evolved in a number of ways.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I would hope that, you know, what is it about your musicians or the people that you listen to? Do you want change from them? You know, it might be a melody that you would never hear again from a Thelonious or you know, when they hit home with a melody, you know, that's forever. You
Yeah.
know, it might take forever. You know, I want to hit something that make you want to cry. You know,
Yeah.
I want to hit a melody that makes you want to like, God damn, what the fuck?
Hell yeah.
I want to hit the heartstrings. If I
Yeah.
don't capture the heartstrings, you know, I ain't on my job.
Yeah.
From an outside
Something
view,
memorable.
I never want to see you change.
No.
Like when I hear a rapper or my favorite artist, I don't want to hear him change. I want him to be the same as he was when I first found him, because when he does change, it hurts my feelings. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
so as being honest as I could be, as an outside proprietor or an outside set of ears, I just want to hear you be the same guy that I found when I was young. You know what I mean? Because when someone says they change, I get it. You change because times change, your life
Oh, you
changed.
changed, huh?
You're a dad now. Everything's changed. But I don't want to hear that. I want to hear you be that same old guy that I fucking was like, man,
Right.
he's a bad motherfucker. And sometimes you change, and
Right.
I'm like, he old now.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I say, I think the technology gets better, but I don't think you don't have to necessarily change your whole woo wop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think if anything, you should get more definitive in you know what I mean, your approach.
Yeah.
But, you know, or not, or maybe go grimy with it. You know,
Yeah.
more of the sound, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Self Jupiter, one more question. I was just
Yeah.
thinking, if you never found music or never got into the music industry, what would Self Jupiter be doing right now? What would you have done with your life?
good question. I don't know really. I mean, I had a chance to go to the Army, and the homies talked me out of it. That was the one that was the homies that tried to get me to get on the Who May Concern album. Like, hell no, man, you gotta come back and record, man. We need you on this album. If it wasn't for them saying that they like my raps, I probably would have been gone
Oh man.
to the military or something. And it wasn't until then it was like, yeah, well, we you know end up making a record.
Well, we're glad that they pulled you out of that.
So I would think that
direction.
came out of that because, you know, obviously if you're the military, obviously come back, got the GI Bill. I don't know, maybe, you know.
Sergeant Jupiter.
Sergeant Big
Huh?
Classic.
Sergeant Big Classic.
Sergeant
Sergeant Jupiter. Sergeant Big Classic. You'd have been hurting them. Major Pain up in this bitch.
Hey, but I think of like, that's a question like you think, you know, the positive. Like I say football too because, you know, I got shot in 1988, you know, and that kind of derailed my little, you know, dream of, you know, in my football thing. I got shot at my Achilles tendon.
Oh shit.
And that was 87, 88. You know, because it could have been football, and it was close to that. I was getting little letters, you know what I'm saying, UNLV, you know, and I just didn't take it seriously. I told you, you know, I'm trying to do other things, you know, in the hood and this and that. But good question though, man. But yeah, a little different avenues. But who knows, man?
Yeah, we're glad that you got pulled away from the Army and got put into music because we were able to experience what is Self Jupiter and Freestyle Fellowship and all the great things that you were a part of, and got to see this community that you guys built, and it's still strong in this, you know, in California. We felt it all the way up here north, so it's great to talk to you and be able to feel that coming from the man himself. Thank you so much for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Fuck yeah.
Yes, sir. Hey, appreciate you guys, man. Look, you guys have a great night, man.
Hey,
You too, man.
thank you for joining us on Friday, you know, and hopefully after the next album comes out, we can talk after that as well.
Yeah.
We'll catch up with you,
Yeah.
and maybe we can hear that story about how you became in line with one of the great Greek gods, Achilles, because both your careers got cut short by an Achilles. So I want to hear that story.
Word.
Next time.
Hey, no, great, yo. I appreciate you guys. Hey, but yeah, get some merch, man. Go to my Bandcamp. You know, and this is live, right? So
Yeah.
y'all can
Yes,
just
sir.
put up the links and everything.
Yeah, we'll
We'll
make
do.
sure that we set up all the links in the
Got you.
descriptions, and you could check out
Yeah.
all his past work and
I
new
know y'all
work.
gonna edit everything and do your thing, but anyway, peace and love.
Peace and love. I'm
Once again, everyone give it up for the
Yeah.
one and the only Self Juke.
Hell yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that R&B album coming out here pretty soon. You bad motherfucker. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, I told you, better get y'all singing going. Get your singing going.
We're gonna be a quartet. We'll be your backup singers.
We ready to roll.
Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right, man.
Hey,
Peace,
peace. Have a
peace,
good
man.
night.